Hi, in this video, we'll introduce you to DevOpsShell. We'll start by launching our DevOpsShell application, which we've previously installed. And this is DevOpsShell. DevOpsShell is basically your operating system, whether it's Linux, Mac, or Windows. In our case, we're running on a Mac OS. This gives you the ability to run all your Linux commands as you would in a regular shell environment. We can run ls commands, clear. We can run a Linux curl command. Everything functions the same, no different. So basically, you can run all your Linux operating commands in DevOpsShell. In the Windows environment, you can run all your Windows environment, Linux the same. We'll start with the UI. In our DevOpsShell UI, we have environments. We could create new environments, rename, remove, and switch environments. An environment is basically a storage space in DevOpsShell, which stores history, clone information, repeaters, nodes, variables, arrays, anything that we've done in DevOpsShell that is stored within the internal DevOpsShell system. We can click here. We could export environments and share with someone else, or we could import environments, which we've received. So this gives us the flexibility to share and import environments. If you downloaded a free version of DevOpsShell, when you click on the free link, you will see two options. You can purchase a license to expand to a standard or enterprise license. If you already have a license number, you can just click here and enter the license number to activate for full use. In DevOpsShell, we can minimize the window by clicking on this item. We can close this area, open it again, or we could close this area, this one, and we can even do this, and we have a full shell environment without any items displayed. Only thing that remains is the spawn link, and we'll explain further in the future what this is for. So basically in DevOpsShell, we can do a number of things. In this introduction, we'll start with the basic features of DevOpsShell. One area that we may want to look into is the back. Basically in DevOpsShell, all commands start with the colon. So if we wanted to change the background color of our shell, it's as simple as typing colon, back, colon, and in quotes, we provide the color, green. Our background, choose to green. If we wanted to change our font, we would do the same, colon, font, colon, and black. There we go. And we could change our font again, colon, font. Let's change it to white font for green background, and here we go. And that's how we could change our background. We'll get into arrays and clones in a separate video. They're more advanced features. Environment allows us in the command line to switch environments, or we can switch environments from the menu option here. Header allows us to change the header of our system. So basically we can go here, colon, header, quote, my new header. And this changes the header. This is basically a header that we can use for referencing. This, all it does, allows us to reference what we're doing and makes it easy to navigate if we have multiple windows active. A lock command, colon lock, basically locks the screen. The screen is hidden. That's all it does. It hides the screen, and by hitting a key on the keyboard, it brings it back. This is for security. If we wanted to lock our screen while we're doing our work, we could just simply colon lock and instantly lock the screen. Click a key on the keyboard and we're back to normal. Prefixes are basically, also by the way, if we click on any of these items, they will automatically insert in the shell. So that helps with typing commands. Prefix, we can change the prefix of our entries. So we'll do this. Let's expand, and we'll change our prefix to my prefix. So now if we look, for example, every item that we've typed is stored in the history, first of all. We have everything DevOpsShell command. It's basically a history of DevOpsShell commands. We do not keep a history of Linux commands typed, only DevOpsShell. And you can turn the history off if you do not wish to have the history of your command stored, or you can switch it back on at any time that you would like. If you wanted to repeat a command, for example, the lock command, we can actually click on the lock and click this play button, and this will execute the lock command. There you go. And instantly our screen is locked. Hit enter. If we wanted to change our background to a black background, we just click on this, click play, and there we go. Actually, sorry, we changed the font, but we'll put the font back to white font. And there we go. So it's basically a shortcut way of executing commands that were previously executed in DevOpsShell. So one of the features we will use in DevOpsShell outside of the UI is the note command. So basically, note commands allow us to store output onto an internal note system that DevOpsShell has. In this case, we have our note system and some previously stored notes, but we'll start from scratch. So basically, we'll just do :note : and we will run a Linux command or Mac OS command. In this case, we will run the ls command for directory. And notice every DevOpsShell command starts with a colon. That's how the operating system knows it's a DevOpsShell command to be processed. Note, : space. The second colon tells the operating system that DevOpsShell is storing value. Basically, whatever the operating system output is will be stored to an internal DevOpsShell note. So if we did note : ls and hit enter, our directory, notice the note is inserted here and the directory is stored. So we can see the input was the ls command and this was the output. So we've created an internal note in DevOpsShell, which is our directory. And we can run any Linux command. For example, if we did a curl of a website, this is the output from the curl command. We can send that output : note : curl, and there we go. We have a second note, note 1, note 2. These names are dynamically created for us, and we can see the command and we can see the output. This feature works also within third-party applications. For example, in a MongoDB shell or MySQL shell, you can run MongoDB or MySQL commands and send the outputs to Note as well. We will discuss this item in a more advanced video. And this is the first video introducing DevOpsShell. In the next video, we'll explain more features of DevOpsShell. Thank you.